Okay, I'm here with a couple of my new friends who've come in here from, where are you from?
From Connecticut,
And
East Coast.
so tell me a little bit about how you're traveling.
We rented an old, well, not rented, we bought an old 1975 RV, a Coachman Leprechaun, and we towed her car, brought our two dogs, and hit the road. And we took the long way. We went down to Florida first to find some warmth, and then we came across, probably spent like 2.5 months and traveled. And
Yeah, we encountered a lot of different wildlife, especially in Texas. When we were there, we saw crocodiles, and then on another adventure, we were actually hiking in the mountains, and there's mountain lion warnings everywhere ever since. And we go during daytime with our dogs. We're walking down, and we just hear this growl, this very intense, scary, deep growl. And I instantly found, like, my back was just standing straight up, the hair on my back, and we turned around immediately, and thankfully we didn't hear anything since, but it was at least 10 feet away. It was really close. And
Yep.
we walked back, and then we saw a tarantula walk past our leg, past that.
A
and-
tarantula?
Yeah.
How big?
large spider. It was a
very
large spider.
big, with legs probably that big. But yeah, that was a really cool experience.
Last week we saw a baby rattler while we were walking the dogs. Just a little one. I
A
almost
baby what?
baby rattler, rattlesnake. And we were walking the dogs. I almost stepped right on him, and I looked down, and I thought he was dead. He wasn't moving. Then I saw his tongue going. So we were like, okay. That's been our biggest fear out here. We're not used to stuff like that, the snakes and stuff. So walking the dogs has been rough. But
You ever have any encounters with coyotes?
yeah,
Oh yeah.
we had not out here, but on the East Coast in Connecticut, a friend of mine and I, we were camping for 5 days, winter camping in the snow. And we got surrounded by coyotes, and he thought it'd be funny to play a dying rabbit call, so they got closer and closer, but we had a nice fire going and everything was cool. And then in Connecticut also, by the Massachusetts border on the Appalachian Trail, my roommate at the time, we were camping, and about 5:30 in the morning, he wakes me up, tells me to get out of my tent, and I'm like, how come? He was like, oh, black bear. And I'm like, okay, how far away? He was like, about 25, 30 feet.
No
So
way.
I was like, yeah, all right, I guess it's time to get out of the tent. But by the time I got situated and out of my tent, he was already scurrying by. It was a small black bear, but. And then
That's close enough.
when I was young, probably about 15, 16, we camped here in California. I was visiting my aunt in San Bernardino area, but we went to Rock Creek, California. We're camping in the mountains, and an extremely large bear walked right through our campsite. And I mean, I was young. I jumped under the picnic table and grabbed a hatchet and just stayed there. But they whistled and blew and yelled out the campsite number. They came, rangers took care of it and everything, and sent it on its way. But I love the wildlife. She recently went to Point Reyes and saw a lot of, she saw owls and elk and all kinds of stuff. So
Yeah, little coyotes over there. It's intense wildlife. It's beautiful. Got
So
great-
we're excited to see how beautiful the nature is and everything in California and what it can bring us.
So what happened that night when you were surrounded by the coyotes?
Oh.
Not much. I mean, we were camping, and I mean, we were drinking at the time, and so my buddy thought it'd be funny to mess with them, but they didn't get too close for comfort. And then once we went to bed, I actually built a cot out of branches and twigs and stuff, and because we had a fire going all night, it was nice and warm in there, and they stayed away. But it was a good experience.
When we were camping on the Thames, that's when we saw a wolf and coyote cross come encounter in a pack. And
How big?
they were probably as big as a deer, if not larger, bigger than a German Shepherd. And I saw the lights of their eyes just light up in the dark. And then it was at least 10 feet away from our dog Brooke, who's a chocolate lab big, and it was bigger than her. And she just took off after it, broke the leash. She went running. I went running barefoot, just yelling at this thing to leave the dog alone. And luckily it ran off, but after that, it was just, the whole pack was circling us the entire night, just checking us out, all curious. And we were just doing perimeter walks around, like trying to make sure everything was okay and have our dogs secure and safe. But we were okay in the end, so it was good.
So I guess you didn't get much sleep that night.
No, we
No,
did not.
not much
we
at all.
stayed up till sunrise.
Yeah.
Was it a nice sunrise?
Yeah, it was.
It was one of my favorite fishing spots too. I'm a fisherman, so
Something about it. When I camp outside, I track coyotes. It's
Well, you never know what you're gonna find out there.
yeah, you do not.
And a suggestion, BLM land, if you've never looked it up, public BLM, Bureau of Land Management land.
Yeah.
It's free to camp at for up to 14 days, and
Yeah.
we've found some beautiful spots along the way
Yeah.
across the
Free.
country. So
Yep,
I suggest it.
legal and free.
So what was the scariest incident you've had?
I would say the mountain lion one and
The mountain lion?
the
Yeah,
wolf
probably. It
and
was-
coyote cross was pretty scary, but the
Yeah.
mountain lion one was
Mountain lion, we were
scariest.
really on edge, and the dogs didn't know what was going on. We didn't know because we heard a very, very deep growl,
I've
and
never
it
been
was
so scared.
it
in
was
my life.
extremely close to us, so we didn't know if they were going to try to attack the dogs or what. or
I've
if
just
they,
never felt this intense fear and like just your hair just going straight up until you just every inch of your body is saying go the other way.
Well, what do you have to protect yourselves?
Mountain lions, you can't really protect yourself much.
Yeah.
If they come at you, you just have to fight back. At that point, make eye contact, try to look large. They come at you, fight back.
one thing we want to invest in is some bear spray,
Yeah,
just in case we
Bear
ever need it.
spray?
Yeah,
maybe
just
even
in
pepper
case.
spray.
Yeah, it's like pepper spray, but for bears, just in case you have an encounter. But
Yeah. But with mountain lions, you're kind of screwed if they come for you.
All right. Well, thanks so much.
thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
Good to meet you.